They spent my $75,000 inheritance. Now they want me to forgive them. I'm 27M, the youngest of three siblings. My parents have always been the type to put family above everything, but it always seemed to mean everyone else's needs came before mine. My siblings, Mark, 32M, and Kelly, 34F, have always been close to our parents, especially since they each hit some rough patches in adulthood. Me, I was always the responsible one who didn't need help, so I was mostly left to fend for myself. When I was 16, my grandmother passed away. She was the only family member who ever really looked out for me. She left each of us grandkids a $75,000 inheritance in a trust. I was the youngest, so I wouldn't get access until I turned 21, but my parents were named as trustees in the meantime. At the time, I thought nothing of it. I trusted them completely. Fast forward to when I turned 21, and I was ready to access the trust. I had big plans. I wanted to pay off the small amount of student debt I had, invest in a car for my new job, and put the rest into savings for a down payment on a house. I was so excited when I asked my parents to transfer the funds. Their response blindsided me. "We need to talk about the inheritance," my dad said one night at dinner. My mom looked uncomfortable but didn't say anything. They went on to explain that they'd used some of the money over the years to help the family. When I asked how much was left, they avoided the question. Finally, after pressing them, my dad admitted there's about $8,000 left. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. "What do you mean $8,000? I asked, trying to stay calm. They told me they'd use the money to cover Mark's divorce lawyer fees, help Kelly when she was unemployed, and even replace the family car when it broke down. We didn't have a choice, my mom said. We had to think about the whole family. I was furious. The whole family? That money wasn't yours to spend. Grandma left it for me. My dad sighed. You've always been so responsible. We knew you'd understand. You don't need the money the way they did. I couldn't believe it. It doesn't matter if I needed it or not. It wasn't yours to take. I left that night and stayed with a friend for a while to cool off. Over the next few years, I rebuilt my life on my own. I worked hard, paid off my debts myself, and eventually saved enough to buy a modest home. I cut contact with my parents and siblings, who only ever reached out when they needed something. Recently, though, things took a turn. I'm engaged now, and my fiancée, 29F, has been trying to mend the bridge between me and my family. I've told her everything about what happened, but she believes I need to forgive them to move forward. A few weeks ago, she went behind my back and met with my parents. She said they apologized and wanted to reconnect. She begged me to consider inviting them to our wedding so we could start fresh. I was livid. How can you forgive them for something they did to me? I asked her. She said she just wanted to help me let go of the past. Now I'm stuck. My parents have written me a long letter apologizing and saying they want to make things right. But how can they? The money's gone, and so is my trust in them. My fiancé says forgiving them will bring me peace, but I don't know if I can move past it. Every time I think about it, I'm reminded of how they chose to prioritize everyone else over me, even when it wasn't their decision to make. What do you think? Should I forgive them, or am I right to keep my distance?